Hello students, so today we will be starting a new poem, Keeping Quiet. It is written by Pablo Neruda. In this poem, Neruda talks about the necessity of quiet introspection, which is looking inside yourself. Introspection means looking inside yourself and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. So, in this poem, Pablo Neruda will talk about all these things. Now, let's see the main points of the poem. The poem talks about the necessity of quiet introspection. This I have already told you. It will help people to understand themselves and will create the feeling of mutual love and relationship among themselves. By quiet introspection, the poet doesn't mean total inactivity. Instead, he wants full involvement with life. So, when the poet says quiet introspection, he does not mean that total inactivity or death, but he wants their full involvement with life. The reason for the discard of war is the imbalance between man and nature. It is all happening because of the imbalances between man and nature. Quiet introspection will establish a spiritual and physical union that is most desirable for the survival of the earth and of human beings. Clear? So now I will read the poem. Let's read the poem. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So this was the poem. Now I will be giving you line by line explanation of the poem. So let's begin. Now we will count to 12. So the poet is giving a wake up call. 12 stands for 12 hours of the day, months, the marks in the watch. The poet will count up to 12 and we will all keep still. Still means motionless, and we will count upon our follies, our faults. We will all keep still. That would help human beings to be united and also to analyze themselves. Keeping still will give us an opportunity to analyze ourselves. For once on the face of the earth. So, for once on the face of the earth, this is personification. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Not move our arms so much. Arms, there is word play and it is called pun. One arms of human body and other means arms and ammunitions, that are weapons. So the figure of speech, not move our arms so much, is synecdoche. It is conveying two meanings. One are human body's arms and one arms and ammunition, the weapons. Clear? So the poet is saying not to be aggressive, don't be aggressive. And he is appealing to the scientists and the warmongers to stop making weapons. It would be an exotic moment. It would be a rare moment without rush, without engines. No worry, no hurry. So it would be an exotic, rare moment. We would all be together. It symbolizes all the human beings all over the world. In a sudden strangeness, there is alliteration. S and as is repeating sudden strangeness, so there is alliteration, right? Fisherman in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. So the poet is appealing fisherman not to kill whales. There should be an ecological balance. Human beings, they are the architect of their own destruction. They are caught in senseless, mindless activities. There is no time to look at their hurt hands. So the poet is saying to look at their hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors. So, green wars, it means destructive activities against the nature. Chemical wars, right? Victory with survivors, it is hyperbole. This is exaggeration. Hyperbole means projecting something more than what it is. Clear? Now, green wars, it is antithetical images because there are two different ideas, green and wars, right? Would put on clean clothes. Clean clothes, there is alliteration again, C and C is repeating. And walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. So this is a change in attitude and perception. Brothers, they are the common men. In the shade means to purify your soul and to put on clean clothes in the proximity of nature. Doing nothing means to don't indulge in destructive activities, telling politicians, scientists, etc. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. So the poet is saying that it should not be confused with total inactivity, no action. Life is what it is about. So humans do not understand their priorities and they are running behind the luxuries. I want no track with death means the poet is saying he has no concerns, no deal, nothing to do with death. If we were not so single-minded is so selfish, center-minded, about keeping our lives moving, means about running, ठीक है, लाइफ चल रही है जैसे, ठीक है, and for once could do nothing. Perhaps a huge silence might interfere this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. So this sadness can be broken if we observe silence and stillness. Raging war against each other would do nothing. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. So earth can teach us. Earth is teaching us to be productive in silence. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So the poet has given as a goal, a mission, that he will go somewhere else to spread the message, and now we have to observe the stillness and silence. Now earth, so the poet is evoking a very powerful image of Mother Earth. Earth is the cradle of life. Earth is a great educator. Clear? So the poet has given us a mission and now he will go somewhere else. So this was all about the poem. Now we will move on to literary devices. Clear? First literary device is pun. I have told you the arms one, wordplay, then transferred epithet, the cold sea. The adjective cold actually describes a fisherman and not the sea. So there is transferred epithet. Then metaphor, to put on clean clothes. This is metaphor. Walk about with their brothers in the shade when everything seems to be dead and later proves to be alive. This is all metaphor. Personification, perhaps the earth can teach us. So earth has been attributed with the quality of a person, that is of teaching. Clear? Then irony, victory with no survivors, or we can say this hyperbole, exaggeration. Repetition, wars with, this is repetition. Then alliteration, I have already told you, we will, sudden strangeness, his, hurt hands, clean clothes, etc. Then symbols, there are also many symbols like count to 12, it symbolizes the time, fishermen, the oppressors, whales, the oppressed, man gathering salt, telling humanity, clean clothes, peace, brothers, mankind. Clear? So these were all literary devices. So this was all about the poem. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe and follow for more.